Hello to everybody. My name is Juan Fernandez, professor at CEIBS, and we continue with these episodes on how to become an innovative company. In the first episode, we talk about the model and the different components of this model. In this second episode, we are going to talk about culture and why culture matters. Let's start with an example. I talked with Jerry Grosset, which is a managing partner of Hive Time, a consulting company in China, and he told me an experience he had in the Chinese restaurant Hei Di Lao. It's a chain of hot pot restaurants. It's a famous Chinese restaurant for quality of the service. So Jerry asked one of the waiters, why is that? And she answered this way: they took away my fear of making mistakes. I learned that if I make a mistake, I will not be punished for it. And this makes me focus not on being afraid of my boss, but on taking care of the needs of my customers. And I think that is a good example of what I mean by a culture of innovation. The company culture is the foundation. Innovation comes from anywhere in the organization and often from those employees closer to the market. An innovative culture listens to those voices, reacts quickly to the changes in the market, and is also proactive by creating the future. I teach about innovation in my courses. One time, one of the participants came to me and said, "Professor, it's very interesting what you are telling us, but actually this will not work in my company." And I asked him, why? Well, if I propose something and it fails, my boss will punish me. But if it's successful, my boss will say it was my idea. With these conditions, I don't feel any motivation to innovate. And this is an example of a negative company culture that kills innovation. Now, one of the important characteristics of a culture that promotes innovation is psychological safety. That means the organization allows for experimentation and risk-taking. And where is the risk, there is the possibility of failure. If employees don't feel safe, they will not take risk. Martin Beck, from the Academy of Technology and Science of Denmark, told me that in his country, there is a low power distance between bosses, which means that people can talk to each other without so worry about hierarchy. And there is also a high level of trust in organization. That allows for people to express their opinion, even if it's against the group or the leaders. Dr. Prem from Intel told me that the company has his policy of fail fast and fail forward. Another example is Xiaolin Yuan, president of Volvo China, mentioned to me that experimentation must be within certain parameters. So even if it fails, there are lessons to be learned. The second condition of an innovative culture is openness. Companies that have silos and many hierarchical levels have more difficulties to innovate. So one of the things that we have to evaluate in our company is how can we introduce communication, more flow of information at different levels in the organization. For instance, ByteDance, the company that owns TikTok, told me that they don't have job titles to avoid hierarchical distances. Office design is also an important part of this openness. Open office to facilitate social interaction and free exchanges of ideas. And it's also important to have private spaces for people that can stay without interruptions. And the third condition is diversity. Diversity comes from different parts: gender diversity, age diversity, personality, professional and national diversity. Many companies that are considered multinationals in reality are uninationals in different countries. So introduce diversity at each level, especially at the top level of the organization, is very important. Of course, it's easy to manage organizations with homogeneous members. These companies are good for incremental changes, but if we want radical innovation, something different, it's better to have diversity in the organization. Ramon Baeza, senior consultant at BCG, told me that the top 50 most innovative companies in the world tend to have higher levels of diversity in their teams. So here is the summary of what we have seen in this episode. First of all is safety, psychological safety. Employees are willing to express different opinions, no fear of making intelligent mistakes, openness, no silos and fluid hierarchical levels, and also open physical space, and finally diversity. Diversity in genders, background, personality, and culture, and how to introduce harmony in this diversity. With this, we finish the episode about company culture. In our next episode, we will talk about norms and systems. Till then, thank you very much.